And it's my pleasure to actually introduce the two from Raffles, Zinni and Victor, to come and present to you their winning prize, so you can understand. Congratulations. They'll tell you about the prize that they won, which is pretty nice, right? I'm actually going to leave at this point, but I know that I'm catching up with you later on this afternoon, so I'll hand you over to the very capable Victor and Zinni, and I look forward to connecting with you later on today, and I hope that you have an amazing session here with SAP. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you very much for giving us this special opportunity to speak here today. Firstly, I would like you guys to imagine this scenario. You are an elderly citizen living by yourself. As you walk to the fridge, you realize that you need to stock up on more groceries. With just a tap of a button, a drone swoops out of the sky and drops a parcel outside your doorstep. Before you know it, your groceries have been delivered. Although this may seem relatively far-fetched, it may in fact soon become a reality. Good afternoon and good morning, everyone. I am Victor Loh.
And I am Lim Zin Yi.
And we are two secondary 2 students from Raffles Institution. We participated in the recently concluded Young Thinkers Challenge hosted by SAP and IDA. So, what motivated us to look into the problem of an aging Singapore population? First, our topic was a natural extension of a Raffles Institution research education project that we did during the year. And the topic was to look at the sufficiency of Singapore's medical professionals and facilities in meeting the medical needs of people in the age group of 65 years and above by the year 2030. Our teacher mentor, Mrs. Lorraine Neo, urged us to further extend this into a Young Thinkers Challenge project using smart technology in the context of our RE project to help solve some of the problems of an aging population. Another incident that added urgency to this project was a fall my grandmother suffered recently. Although it was a simple fall, it resulted in a fracture of her hip and she needed a hip replacement surgery. The whole recovery process took a few months and she needed constant care as she was not mobile. It turns out that this is a rather common problem among the elderly people, and certainly a lot can be done to help them lead a fuller life in their old age. It would be great if smart technology like mobile apps can be put to great use in this respect. Our teacher mentor also pointed out some very useful government websites that contain a huge amount of big data of Singapore's medical facilities and professionals, as well as population demographics. Using the Lumira software by SAP, we were able to succinctly present the various useful information as well as our new ideas into a lively and easy to read infographic. It certainly helps in raising the awareness of problems that older people face in their daily lives and what simple steps can be taken to help them solve their problems. We thus came up with some smartphone application ideas that could potentially improve the quality of life for the elderly. As you can see from the following pie charts, the proportion of elderly will double from 2040 to 2030. With this increase, problems associated with an aging population will begin to surface in our society. Issues such as the lack of healthcare, may begin to threaten our standard of living. As such, more has to be done to support our population of elderly and lessen the impact which this may have on our daily lives. One of the main impacts of this shift in population demographics is the declining old age support ratio. As of 2014, for every elderly citizen as represented by the black figures, for every elderly citizen as represented by the red figures, there are 5 working age citizens as represented by the black figures. However, by 2030, this will decrease to 2 working class citizens supporting each elderly citizen. This shows that by the year 2030, we may not have a large enough workforce to support our population of elderly. Therefore, it is essential to make use of technology in order to streamline services and reduce the need for manpower. This graph here shows the government health expenditure against the year. It is clear that the government health expenditure is rapidly increasing. This could be largely due to an increase in manpower being employed in the public healthcare sector and subsidies being given out to the pioneer generation. In the long term, we feel that technology can be used to reduce the need for manpower in the healthcare sector, helping to lower the government healthcare expenditure. As Singapore has developed over the years, we have experienced a shift away from speaking traditional Chinese dialects to a more modern English-speaking society. However, most of the older population still retain the use of dialects. However, with most caretakers growing up speaking English, we feel that there may be a widening communication rift between the different generations. This may potentially hinder the younger generation's capability of taking care of their elders. As such, we will also have to explore how we can make use of technology to mitigate this problem. I will now be passing my time on to Xin-Yi, who will explain the recommendations on how we can apply smart technology to solve this problem.
Thank you, Victor. As our society becomes more tech-savvy, an increasing number of elderly are making use of smartphones and other forms of technology to make their lives more convenient. With this rise in smartphone usage, we have decided to create an integrated solutions app to help solve some of the elderly's problems. Our app will host a suite of functions, with each function specifically targeted to solve different problems. First, let us start off with the speech recognition function. As described earlier, our society faces a growing communication rift between the different generations. As speech recognition technology advances, we decided to make use of this function in our app. By speaking into the microphone, the app can automatically translate a variety of major Chinese dialects into either English or Chinese. This reduces the need for the older generation to pick up the uses of these languages. Our app itself will also be translated into a variety of languages to ensure that all elderly are able to make efficient use of our app. Next, we also see the prospect of on-demand services being supplied through the app. Many elderly are faced with limitations to their movement due to chronic illnesses such as arthritis. Without a caretaker, these elderly may be unable to buy groceries by themselves. However, with the help of the app, elderly can simply type in their order and have it delivered straight to their doorstep. This not only makes the lives of the elderly more convenient, but also helps to reduce the manpower needed to man supermarkets. This is a two-pronged solution to solve the problems on 2 fronts. Firstly, the declining old age support ratio, and secondly, the limitation to the elderly's movement. Thirdly, our app will also include an emergency function. Many elderly are more prone to suffering from falls and accidents at home. When such accidents do happen, they may be unable to alert the emergency services or their neighbours to ask for assistance. Hence, our app will feature a one-touch emergency button, which the elderly can use to alert their neighbours and also call for an ambulance. If the app detects that the elderly's voice has exceeded a certain threshold, for example, when the elderly is shouting for help, it can also alert the paramedics. Last but not least, we can also make use of the app to help the elderly manage their medicine. When afflicted with diseases such as dementia, it is easy for elderly to forget their medicine, which they have to take. Elderly can be issued with a wearable device, which can then be programmed by doctors to alert the elderly when it is time to take their medicine. Apart from this, we also feel that wearable devices can be used to track the elderly's vital signs, so that if any anomalies are detected, the doctors can be alerted immediately. To end off, we feel that innovation is the solution to the multitude of problems that Singapore will face as we march towards SG 100. As we work towards building a better society for us all, let us work hand in hand with technology to help the underprivileged and disadvantaged in the world. Thank you very much.
Great job, boys. Fantastic. Thank you very much indeed. Pleasure. There we go.